welcome Dr. Nandakumar, our incoming president-elect, Shimi sir, the immediate past president, Bharat sir, the national EB member, Dr. Ranjit, the chairperson, AHA Kerala 2024, office bearers of AHA Kerala, Dr. Deepa, Dr. Vidu, Shweta, all the seniors who are present over here and members of IAP data. Welcome all to this very insightful webinar. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Now may I invite the vibrant chairperson of AHA Kerala, Dr. Deepa ma'am, for the presidential address.
Good evening, everyone. Respected Dr. Preeti Galgali, Honorable Vice President, South Zone Central IAP, Dr. Riyaz, Honorable President, IAP Kerala, Dr. Reni Varghese, Honorable President, IAP Pathanamthitta, all the dignitaries, seniors, and my dear friends. It's a privilege to welcome you all to the first Meet the Stalwart session of the year. Since its inception in 2022, the series has brought together experts to discuss crucial adolescent health issues. Today, we address adolescent eating disorders, a growing concern with lasting health implications. Early recognition and intervention are the keys. When we think of nutrition, the name that comes to the mind of every pediatrician in the country is of Dr. Elizabeth Kay. And today, we are honored to have her with us to share her expertise on this important topic. And to chair this session, we have Dr. Christine Intumadi. Welcome, ma'am. A special welcome to our chief guest, Dr. South Vice President, Central IAP. Your presence truly enriches this session. Heartfelt thanks to IAP Kerala for all the support and to IAP Pathanamthitta for hosting this event and to all the dignitaries and participants for being with us today. Looking forward to an insightful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We are honored by the presence of the President of IAP Kerala, Dr. Riyaz sir. May I invite sir to address the gathering.
So, respected chair of the meeting, the president of chapter Kerala, Dr. Deepa Janathan, Preeti Galgali ma'am, and all the stalwarts in the field of adolescent health as well as pediatrics, especially our guest, Dr. Geeta Patil, madam. So today is a very important day because we are getting another opportunity to listen to Elizabeth, madam. Not about anemia, and now we are actually going to listen to her regarding eating disorders in children. We all know that the eating habits as well as the system itself is disordered nowadays because unlike the olden days, now what is happening is the hotels are visiting the houses every day through the Swiggy and Zomato. So is it the eating disorder is a problem of the child, or is it a problem of the system? So that also I think we should consider. So we will all listen to her, and I wish all the best for the session. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, sir. Now may I invite Dr. Ranjit P., Joint Secretary of IAP Kerala, to introduce our respected Dr. Preeti Galgali, madam.
Good evening, respected State President Dr. Riyaz sir. It's my proud and privilege to welcome our mentor in adolescent health, Dr. Preeti Galgali, madam. Madam is the consultant adolescent health specialist and pediatrician director, Bangalore Adolescent Care and Counseling Center, and she is presently the Vice President of South Zone Indian Academy of Pediatrics 2025, and she is the co-chairperson of Education Committee, International Association of Adolescent Health, and co-chairperson of Nutrition Committee, Society for Adolescent Health and Med USA. And she was past chairperson of Adolescent Health Academy. She had so many publications, so many scientific talks, and so many orations in her credit. And she is also the gold medal winner in MD Pediatrics also. And she is a real mentor for all of us, and she's a proud person for representing India in the adult field of adolescent health. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ranjit, for that warm introduction. It's a pleasure to be here among stalwarts like Indumati Madam, Elizabeth Madam, also Dr. Riaz and Dr. Nandkumar and Dr. Varghese. And I think so many shining stars of AHA here, led by Deepa Janardhan. So it's indeed a pleasure. And, it's also the National Medical Legal Day today of the IAP. And the theme is a doctor's right, patient's benefit. Medical legal protection. Very quickly, I would like to just focus on medical legal issues for the adolescent age group. I think we all should be familiar that a child above the age of 12 years can give consent for history taking and examination. Very, very important to take consent from above 12 years. Also, we should know that confidentiality has to be broken in case there is any evidence of child sexual abuse, self-harm, hospitalization, or a medical legal case. So having said that, because of the medical legal age, I'll come back to eating disorders and say that body dissatisfaction is the #1 contributor to eating disorders. And we as pediatricians must screen for body dissatisfaction in our routine OPD. We can ask a simple question like, how do you feel when you look at yourself in the mirror? So the answer may range from which part of the body they don't like to also saying, I hate my body because I was sexually abused a couple of years ago or even now. Or it could also be, I don't want to be a girl or I don't want to be a boy. It could be even indicative of gender dysphoria. So this is an extremely important question. And as far as India goes, the body image issues, nearly the prevalence is 25 to 85%. So this is a hotbed of eating disorders setting in. And as Dr. Riaz, said so beautifully, disordered eating, not only eating disorders, but disordered eating is on the rise, and nearly 10 to 30% have disordered eating. So I'm really looking forward to listening to Dr. Elizabeth to really give us some guidance on how to approach an adolescent with an eating disorder. Having said that, this is an extremely difficult field and it requires a lot of multidisciplinary collaboration. And thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to this talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Preeti madam.
Please mute everybody. Admin, please mute everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Preeti madam. You bring so much radiance into our talk with your enthusiastic words. Now we are honored to have amongst us the national chairperson of AHA, Dr. Himabindu madam. May I invite madam to speak a few words?
Thank you. Good evening to all. Again, a pleasure to see stalwarts and colleagues at IAP Kerala and AHA Kerala, Elizabeth Madam, Preeti Madam, Indumati Madam, many are there, Midhu Ashok, all of us are working together, Nandakumar, Shimi. Let us work together during this year. And the beautiful topic selected what I could to the whole team, and request you all to also join. Today is a medical
I think there is some problem with ma'am's network. Ma'am, you are not audible.
Yeah. It's frozen.
Hello. Ma'am, just sorry for going a little out of range. So I was requesting all of you to kindly celebrate the Youth Wellness Day, 18th of every month. Tomorrow we are first launching this on behalf of Central AHA, first of its kind. We are focusing on road safety and vaccination. Request IAP Kerala and AHA to do some celebrations on. We are creating a wave. The youngsters themselves are coming forward. Shibu is in charge for Kerala. Request all of you to join. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam, for your wonderful words. Now, may I invite a respected Dr. Geeta Patil, madam, immediate past chairperson of National AHA, to speak a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Vidhu. Hope I am audible because my also net is not proper. Thank you very much. Nice to see among Dr. Riaz, Dr. Shimi Paulos, Dr. Nandakumar, Dr. Preeti Madam, Indumati Madam, and who else is today's speaker is Elizabeth. I myself am looking forward to listening to her. This is the topic less discussed, essentially required to be discussed, as already Dr. Preeti Madam has told that the incidence is increasing and how to tackle is really a practical problem. The person who has treated eating disorder, we know that there are a lot of things in a management also. We find it very difficult to manage the eating disorder if it is very severe, and we should listen without much wasting the time. Let us start the things. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity. And Dr. Himabindu Madam has already told about the importance of our catch 25, I think so. Tomorrow is the first session, and maybe on behalf of AHA, I invite everyone to attend that, which is their first Gujarat AHA. No? That is
Thank you.
Is
We are
it right?
launching in Gujarat with the Gujarat.
Tomorrow, Gujarat is going to start, and it's really a great initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you, Ji.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, may I invite Dr. Nandakumar, sir, President-elect of IAP Kerala, for the felicitations.
Respected President IAP Kerala, Dr. Riaz, Preeti Gagal Madam, Preeti Patel Madam, Elizabeth Madam, Himabindu Madam, and other dignitaries on this platform. So it's, as everyone already mentioned, it's one of the many important topic, that is adolescent eating disorder. As you all know, adolescent age is a very vulnerable age for both psychological and physical issues. So today we are going to hear from none other than Dr. Elizabeth Madam, who is a doyen in the field of nutrition. So I'm not wasting much time. So I wish all the very best for this program. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, may I invite Dr. Shimmi Paulo, sir, immediate past president of IAP Kerala, for the felicitations.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta. Chairperson of AHA Kerala, Dr. Deepa, our chief guest of the day, Dr. Preeti Madam, and State President, Dr. Riaz, President-elect, and everybody is on the platform, especially our speaker of the day and who was my president, Elizabeth Madam. Of course, listening to Madam is always a nice thing because we learn something new. And when you talk about adolescent eating disorders, I think so besides the adolescents, we are all on a spray of eating disorders. It starts from the family, it starts from the father, mother, and it goes all the way down. Even a newborn, even a child who is even 1 year old is having an eating disorder. But Madam will be able to give us some clues as to what we can give an information to the parents. Maybe repeatedly telling them might change their mind. So let's hear it from Madam. All the best for the program, and I really congratulate Dr. Deepa and Dr. Vidhu and the team for bringing out such useful topics, which will be useful for the pediatricians. Over to you all. Thank you. Jai AP, Jai.
Thank you, sir. Now, may I invite Dr. Bennett Silem, sir, National EB member of IAP, for the felicitations.
I think Bennett sir couldn't join till now. We will.
Okay. In the absence of Bennett, sir, now we move on to the felicitations. Now, may I invite Dr. The IAP Kerala Secretary, Dr. Gopi Mohan, sir, for the felicitations.
Good evening. Honorable Preeti Gagali Madam, our National Vice President, Dr. Riaz, State President, Himabindu Madam, our National Chairperson of AHA, Dr. Deepa, the Kerala Chapter AHA President, the Doyens Elizabeth Madam, Geeta Patil Madam, Dr. Reni, IAP Patnam, the President, other dignitaries, senior consultants. First of all, I must thank AHA the office bearers for inviting me for such a important topic. And it is none other by Dr. Elizabeth Madam, who is a really stalwart. I look forward to hearing from her and to gain new knowledge about this eating disorders. I congratulate AHA and hope that in future also they'll bring many other stalwarts with many interesting topics, which will be very helpful for us pediatricians in dealing with adolescent issues. Thank you. Jai Hind and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Now may I invite Dr. Binukuttan, sir, Treasurer, IAP Kerala, for the felicitations.
Thank you. Respected Preeti Madam, Himabindu Madam, Indumati Madam, Elizabeth Madam, Riyaz Sir, Shmi Sir, and all the dignitaries. Actually, AHA Kerala is one of the most active specialty chapters of IAP Kerala, and we are eagerly waiting for the talk from Elizabeth Madam. So without wasting time, let's go to that talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, we come to the end of the inaugural ceremony. We move on to the academic session. May I invite the vibrant secretary of AHA Kerala.
Shweta, one second.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
would like to invite Ashok Kumar sir as well. Sir is here,
Okay.
sir is the national chair of medical legal chapter. Ashok Kumar sir.
I'm sorry, Deepa. I'm traveling. I'm outside, so I cannot join. I cannot open my video. Thank you for giving the opportunity. And Dr. Preeti, my good friend, other people in the online platform, I have a difference of opinion regarding the inaugural session. We have lost almost 20 minutes of precious time. I request all the future online organizers to make the inaugural function just 10 minutes. There is no point in repeatedly telling the same thing and again and again. AHA is doing a wonderful job with Deepa, Vidu, Shweta, everybody is doing a wonderful job. So all the best for this program, and over to Shweta for continuing the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is indeed an honor for us to have you here with us. Okay, so with this, we move on to the academic session. May I invite the vibrant secretary of AHA Kerala, Dr. Vidu Madam, to introduce Dr. Kirsten Intumadi Madam.
Good evening, all. Very happy that all the seniors and stalwarts are with us. This is actually our second program, but this is the first of Meet the Stalwarts for us. And we have got the best stalwart here. I'm not wasting time because everyone wants to hear from ma'am. And who will share the session? We had no doubt we have our best over here, Dr. Kristen Intumadi ma'am. For those who doesn't know, ma'am has 2 degrees. Ma'am has a degree in pediatrics as well as in community medicine. She was a past president of IYCF Kerala chapter, the state coordinator for MBFHI, and also she was the president of nutritional chapter in 2020. So she, as her profile goes on, she was also the IAP and NNF president of IAP Trivandrum, and she has more than 25 years of clinical experience as also well in nutrition and social pediatrics. Welcome, and presently, Madam has also worked in SUT hospitals, Trivandrum. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, you have to
thank you, Dr. Vidu, for this the kind introduction to me. Yeah, I'm basically a neonatologist and a pediatrician and working in SUT hospitals. And yes, right now I'm the president of IYCF chapter also for this year. So actually, I respected seniors and stalwarts and all those who have joined. Welcome to you once again for this very important topic. And it's a very relevant topic today because I think it's where, like many of us have suggested, where to start and how to go about this. This is what we're going to hear from Madam. And I think introduction of Madam will be actually very superb because I think Madam, everybody knows. And she's always been a storehouse, I should have wisdom and knowledge in nutrition. So anything you want, you can always ask Madam and she's ready with answers. And so therefore I invite her to talk, and I welcome all of you, especially those who have joined from outside, Bindu Madam, Preeti Madam, many of you have joined, and all our president, office bearers, Dr. Riyaz, many of us. I don't want to go on. I'll invite Madam, and we'll hear from her directly. Thank you, ma'am, for coming up with the topic, very relevant topic.
Thank you very much. I am very happy to be in the midst of all of you. My dear friend, Dr. Preeti is here, and all the IAPNs of Kerala National and the AHA National and Kerala, all the members are here, senior IAPNs are here. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I have one title I have chosen is from the Adolescent also, that is, I have stories to tell. Are you listening? This is what the adolescents are telling us. I have stories to tell. And are you listening? So here today, we have selected the topic adolescent eating disorders. And as already mentioned, it is again a triple burden of malnutrition. So adolescence, I must say, is the last and the final chance to grow. And 40% of the adult weight, 45% of the bone mass, 15% of the adult height, and deposition of 50% of the muscle mass in the boys is happening at that time. Because of the body composition, biological changes during puberty, and also in view of the increased blood volume, muscle mass, hemoglobin and myoglobin in boys, and menarche in girls, both boys and girls have increased demand for specific nutrients like iron. And we discussed all these on 13th, that is the Anemia Awareness Day. And should we have a cutoff for male and female? That is what we were discussing. Why not we have 13 for men and women? By 12 by 12, we teach them, no? After that, let us aim 13. And Dr. Preeti was also mentioning that why February 13th is chosen. Again, 13 gram hemoglobin to highlight this. And I always say this quote by Swami Vivekananda, what I want is muscles of iron and nerves of steel. How did he know so much ahead of the day that our muscle myoglobin is made up of iron, and an alloy of iron is the nerves, that is the steel, that is for our brain growth, myelination, cognition, we need iron. That is it. So today we'll be having an overview of the triple burden of malnutrition among adolescents, underweight and undernutrition, and all the disordered eating or eating disorders like anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, then non-specified eating disorders, overweight and obesity, then hidden hunger, and about certain popular supplements, which is very popular among the adolescents. And I have a story to tell, as I said. It is a story of Ami as narrated by her. See how it began, she's telling. When I was 10, I was not concerned about my weight until I started to notice how skinny my friends were. These thoughts about being skinny like my friends soon became an obsession for me. And I began to feel fat and overweight every time I ate. Okay, and I soon I just stopped eating. So this is how it began. And her story is continuing. At first, my intentions were good. I just wanted to look skinny and normal like everyone else around me. However, soon becoming skinny became an obsession for me, and how it is progressing. Instead of dieting, I just stopped eating. No matter how many pounds I lost, I still looked fat, I thought. I was constantly worried about what others might think of me. And I also compared myself to the skinniest girl, thinking that she might think that I am huge. See that change in her perception, how it happened. My parents were the first to notice my destructive habits. They asked me if I needed help and begged me to tell them what was going on. And I told them that I was fine and that I was just on a diet. As I began to lose weight, I didn't feel any better. Instead, I felt like all my energy had been sapped out of my body. I felt depressed. So, see, the mood changes is also coming. I refused to hang out with my friends because I feared about them judging me. And after noticing the symptoms, my mother had said that I must get treated, but nothing happened. And It was not until my parents found me unconscious on the floor that they decided to take me to the hospital. And because I was malnourished and weak, I ended up with a fainting. This is a true story, how it was evolving. So we know that diagnosis is based on the pronounced fear for fatness despite being thin and absence of alternate causes of weight loss. So this girl had only disordered eating as the cause for the weight loss. So weight loss of at least 15% of the total body weight and a body mass index going to below 17.5. Avoidance of high calorie foods, distortion of body image so that patients regard themselves as fat even when grossly underweight. And our girl also had amenorrhea for last 3 months. And so we know this was anorexia nervosa. I won't eat. I am fat. This is what they are telling. So the treatment, we have a medical component and a nutritional counseling. And of course, the nutritional counseling is quite difficult, but I will say that in the own language of Ami, I'll tell you what she experienced. The main reason that caused me to become anorexic was the way I evaluated myself and compared myself with others. And talking with a psychologist helped me to cope with the emotional reasons behind my illness. And this helped me change the way I thought about myself and encouraged me to change my life. So, this is what happened. More than medical management, she could realize that what was her problem is the way I evaluated myself. And as Dr. Preeti was stressing this, and compared myself with others. That was the problem. And she could come out of that. And one small thing which we can tell them is that we need at least 17% body fat for normal periods. So she was so concerned about her amenorrhea for 3 months. So we could tell her that you need 17% of body fat for normal periods. And your hormones are all coming from essential fat. And so if you don't have fat, your hormones won't be synthesized. And improve eating habits and activity, but don't starve or over exercise. These were the simple messages which helped Ami out of it. But we were lucky that we could get her out, but every time it may not be so easy. And the next is that bulimia nervosa, that is consuming large amount of food, that is lack of control. The anorexic had over control on her eating. Here, it is lack of control over the episodes. Then they are very much concerned about their weight. So what do? Forced vomiting, or they fast for some time. Sometimes they use laxatives and they do excessive exercise and try to maintain a normal weight. So they may look like normal weight, but their behavior will be lack of control, then strict control, then lack of control, like that it will go. And binge eating disorder is another one, loss of control and overeating, not followed by purging. They are not concerned. The other girl was concerned and she was using all type of measures to get her weight down. But here, eating throughout the day, overweight and obese, and then they have feeling of shame and guilt. And shame and guilt will again lead to binge eating. That's it. And so anorexia nervosa is over control, and bulimia nervosa or bulimarexia, there is another combined term, alternating control and lack of control. So in the history, we will have to elicit all these things. And binge eating, no loss of no control at all. And eating disorder, unspecified, is one where you can't put them into all these groups. We will put them into eating disorder unspecified. Like someone says, the guidelines were made by us, no, the disease has not read the guideline. So there may be overlap syndromes. And so purging type, restricting type, these are the two things which we will have to take up in the history. And as it was already mentioned, eating disorder is less preferred these days. Disordered eating habit, that is more, it is a habit and they can come out of it. It is a disordered eating habit. That is a preferred term here. And how, when we manage, we take a dietary history with the help of the dietitian. They will sit down with the girl, or the boy and then take the history and where do they stand. Sometimes they may be taking only 800 calories. Sometimes they may be, instead of 2000 or 2500, they may be taking 1200 to 1800. So from there we build up. And the weight gain, what the aim is 0.5 to 1 kg per week. And important micronutrients we'll have to give. I'll be touching upon it in subsequent slides. Zinc, don't forget about zinc, calcium, vitamin D, omega-3, and the derived fat LCPs from omega-3, that is the DHA and the EPA. And in psychotherapy, the counseling part is the most important. Cognitive behavioral therapy. This girl could comprehend what was wrong with her. And that is how we could succeed. If they don't comprehend, it is very, very difficult. And it should be a family-based treatment. We have to take the family into account. And sometimes, as it was mentioned, the Swiggy, during COVID time, what happened? All the eating, that is the junk food, which was available in the mall. We used to call it malnutrition, no? When you go to the mall and go to the food court and eat all these things. All these came into our kitchen through the internet. And now when we order, everything is coming. So how do we restrict them? That is a very difficult question. And even some doctors were asking me, my girl, she's doing MBBS, but whenever she comes home, every day she orders food from outside. And we tell her, don't order like this. So what do we do? Then I was tell the girl that you can order food. If you say no, they will try to rebel or they become introvert. So you can tell them you can order, but you select the day when you want to order. Is it Wednesday? Is it Friday? Is it Saturday or Sunday? So that they will wait for the day to come to order. Otherwise, every day they will order. And very rarely we may have to use antidepressants, Olnazepam, etc. So that part all I am not going into. This is only an overview I can give. And coming to the micronutrient malnutrition, this is the CNNS data. Till 2016-18, if somebody asked me what is your national data on micronutrients, I'll say I have some hospital data, but I don't have any national data. Apart from the CNN, the NFHS, and NFHS only look at anemia. They were not looking at the other micronutrients. For the first time, and we call it rainbow, 7 colors, like that, 7 micronutrients were quantified in CNNS. And here I want to see all of you to focus on anemia in males and females based on hemoglobin, and then ferritin was also done. Based on this, we see that anything more than 20% is a public health problem. And here it is up to 40% in 1 to 4 years. And in adolescents, it is 39, 28, such high incidences are there. And then you look at folate. Who is having the maximum deficiency? The adolescent, 10 to 19 years. And let us look at B12, 13.8, 17.2, 30.9. Again, our prospective mothers and fathers, the adolescent boys and girls are having the maximum deficiency. This is an eye-opener for us. That's why I'm focusing on this. And look at vitamin D. Again, it is maximum among adolescents. Look at vitamin A. It is close to 20. And zinc, again, 31%. Again, adolescents are having maximum deficiency. And the only success story in micronutrient is that now we are iodine sufficient. Universal iodization of salt we had, and see more than 100 microgram per liter in urine. Urinary iodine is sufficiency. But look at all the age groups had close to 200. So are we causing iodism now? I think this is the program which has to have a close look by the academicians as well as the policy makers. Anyway, this is a success story. India is no more considered as an iodine deficient country. And anemia, I'll take little more because this is anemia week, awareness week also. So 4 children I'll present, and all of them came with pallor, breathlessness, tiredness. A child from low income group had geophagia, and that can increase the risk of helminthiasis, lead poisoning, and can aggravate the anemia. The body is craving for the nutrient, and it is said that iron is the most abundant mineral on earth. So if you take some mud or clay or something, some iron may get in. That may be the body's thought that when they have the geophagia. And middle income group coming with amylophagia, that is laundry starch or raw rice they take. And the high income group is taking the ice cubes, the pagophagia. And during COVID time, we saw this boy, he had 5-gram hemoglobin, middle income group. He was taking 1.5 liters of bovine milk per day as different shakes, sharjah, milkshake, fruit shake. He was making and eating during that COVID time. And he came with tarry stool, occult blood was positive. He was having cow's milk protein enteropathy. So milk is considered as a healthy food, but if you take more, you can have the enteropathy and anemia. So all 4 had iron deficiency anemia. And this is the strict vegans, especially the adolescents, because of ideology, or they don't want to, they want to be very environment friendly. So they become strict vegans and B12 deficiency. And the telltale clue is that they develop this pigmentation. Actually, this is because of reduced glutathione, intracellular glutathione. And any cosmetologist will be using glutathione, oral or injection, as a fairness chemical. So and similarly, so we have to go beyond the palm to the tongue. Koilonychia and Platinichia are telltale evidence of iron deficiency. Like the pigmentation, I said, it is of B12 or megaloblastic anemia. And we are now at a life cycle approach, that is Anemia Mukt Bharat. And this is the weekly iron folic acid supplementation. But we have interrogated many adolescent children. Actually, boys were consuming it more than girls. Girls were throwing it away. More girls were throwing it away than boys when in a school, in a government school, when we ask. Actually, the teacher also has to take the weekly iron folic acid because she is WRA. That is 15 to 49 years. Woman in the reproductive age group. So the teacher has to eat it first and then give it to the children. Initially, the iron content was 100 milligram, and it was too much for the ordinary girls or boys. That may be the reason the program did not take off. But now we have reduced it to 60 milligram. I think we can even go down to 45 milligram, because 45 milligram is the tolerable upper limit of iron in health, whether it is ICMR or Nelson or global standard. 45 milligram is the tolerable upper limit. If you are deficient, you can take more. And we tried many things. Dietary diversity failed. So we went for iron fortified iodized salt, iron and iodine fortified salt, double fortified salt. This was introduced in Andhra Pradesh and all, but in thalassemia belt and all, we cannot give this one. And some people take very less salt, and some people take so much more. So there is no regulation. And the weekly iron folic acid, actually during the anemia day, we were discussing, why did they give the blue tablet to the adolescents and not the red tablet? The strength is the same. The red tablet is for the pregnant, lactating, and the WRA. And why did they change the color? Because it was in the discussion we were telling that if an adolescent girl is taking the red tablet, there is a stigma. Why she is taking the red tablet? It is usually given in pregnancy. What happened? And all. Now our people are very inquisitive. So the government decided that we will give blue tablet to them. And junior whips 5 to 10 years is the pink tablet. And now we are having another innovative intervention, that is FRK, fortified rice kernel. 1 fortified rice kernel is added to 100 normal rice. And the FRK contains iron, folic acid, and B12. and it will be different color than the original rice. And in an Anganwadi, I saw the Anganwadi Aya sitting and picking up and throwing away the FRKs because no education happened. We didn't take the public or the journalists or the social media into confidence when we introduced it. And some people I have heard telling that they got plastic rice. It will look very, very different white color. So I got plastic rice. It is different from the other one. That is it. And in all government feeding programs, this is the subsidized rice which is coming is FRK. I have great hope on this, thinking that it will be a short-term, it will be for short-term goal, and our anemia rates will come down, at least in the next NFHS after putting it. And this rice is available through the PDS, the ration shops, the public distribution system. And I have heard many doctors telling that I always go and fight with the ration shop owner, telling that give me more of this rice. But he will say he has less quantity stock and he will give the ordinary rice and all. That is it. And even atta, fortified atta is given for the BPL card holders. And this is from a promotion video I have taken. Why do you run after gold, girls? When it is iron that runs in your veins and make you shine. So invest in your iron. So all the children up to 15 years will have to take IFA and calcium tablet weekly. And the children and the WRA also, B12 in indicated cases, whoever is a vegan. Then biannual deworming. Now we have deworming, national deworming days. And we are aiming at an anemia-free Pink India, 12 by 12. And all others, I must say, we should aim for 13 gram hemoglobin per deciliter. And now we go to the next spectrum. Obesity is rampant, and our adolescents, school children are also obese, and all their neck is so much dark with the inflammation, epithelial inflammation, that is the acanthosis nigricans. And along with this pandemic, obesity, a ticking time bomb, the body shaming has come as a cultural epidemic. We say obesity is a socio-cultural nutritional epidemic. And the body shaming is also very rampant among children, and the girls or the boys who are obese may become introverts and they become very depressed. And again, that will lead to more of binge eating. And when your weight increases by 1%, your motivation to do exercise comes down 10%. So the family, the friends, the society, the community, everybody will have to encourage them to support them with the exercise. So the large portion size. I heard one girl telling, don't cut the pizza into 6. Cut it into 4. I can take only four pieces. But she's not bothered about the portion size. So portion size is something which we have to tell them, and about junks and the sugar sweetened beverages. Then the sedentary habits and the screen addiction, lack of sleep, and metabolic syndrome we have to look for. Acanthosis nigricans as a grading. And so if it is, one is just visible at close look. And in the axilla also just visible. And 2 is, it is visible in the apex of the axilla or base of the skull, but not extending laterally. And 3 is, it is extending little bit, but it is not visible from the front or when the arm is adducted. So 4 is visible from the front or back and when the arm is adducted also. So whenever there is acanthosis nigricans, please look for metabolic syndrome. And the waist circumference, we have to make it a habit to record it. We usually take the weight and height and then go to the chart and calculate the BMI. But in bodybuilders, BMI does not work. And that is the metabolic syndrome means waist circumference more than 90th percentile plus any 2 of the following: fasting glucose more than 100, triglyceride more than 150, HDL less than 40, or hypertension. And so the Dr. Vaman Kadalkar's chart, it's there in my book also. And what he has given is that 70th percentile and 90th percentile you can read. And 70th percentile is our alarm before we can pick them. So more than 10 years with family history or acanthosis, everybody has got a waist circumference more than 70th percentile should undergo the blood test and blood pressure for metabolic syndrome. And where do we measure the waist circumference? Previously, we were asked to find the midway between the the rib cage and the iliac crest. Now they say that it is very cumbersome, especially in the obese. It is very difficult. So ask the child to put the hand just on the iliac crest. Child will put the hand on both sides on the iliac crest, and you take a tape and just above their finger, you just take it. That is enough. You no need to go for the midway and all. And then the pediatrician friendly chart and the app made by Dr. Peter Weil also will give you everything, no? The BMI. And in the after 8 years, that small insert, you can just the height is there on the x-axis and the weight is on the y-axis, and the BMI is written underweight, obese, overweight there. And in the other chart, we can see that the percentile chart from third, fifth, after 50th, there are only two lines. That is 23rd adult equivalent, which is overweight, and 27th adult equivalent, which is obesity. And we have from calipers to growth charts to CT, MRI, fibroelastose scan, everything we use. But what is most important, the DEXA also we use. But we can have a bioelectrical impedance, that is the body composition analyzer. Just like a weighing machine, you can stand on it. And by bioelectrical impedance, it will calculate your BMI as well as your body fat percentage. And sometimes we may have to do more genetic testing because everything is not exogenous obesity. Very less than 5% may have an endogenous endocrine methylation defects, etc. And the battery of investigations. But I want to stress one thing: thyroid and cortisol levels. Thyroid may be, TSH may be slightly elevated with a normal free T4. And in obese children, just work on their weight and exercise. And if you start giving them thyroxine, again their metabolism will increase and they will eat more. And another thing is our kidney. We have to be fatty liver. Everybody is now thinking of, and they are doing the scans and the LFT. And mind you, the AST for girls is ALT, AST is not important. ALT for girls is 22, and for boys, adolescent, it is 25. So don't think that 40 is the cutoff. And spot urine PC ratio and microalbumin is the earliest we can do to protect our kidneys. And ultrasound for PCOS also, that also we have to address in the girls. And now adolescents have exotic eating behavior and drinking patterns because of the peer pressure. And everybody wants to show off that I know everything, I'm very unique, and I'm doing this and that. And sometimes I say Coca-Cola is not competing with Pepsi Cola, it is competing with water. So when they start taking these drinks, their water consumption comes down. And sometimes they take a lot of soda, energy, food, etc. And sometimes we are also deceived and we don't know what is the difference between a fruit juice, a fruit drink, and a Tropicana. Actually, the fruit juice should be 95 to 100% fruit. But if it is 60-65%, it is called Tropicana. And if it is 5 to 10% only, it is called fruit drink. And most of the time, we take the fruit drink thinking that it is fruit juice. And the malted beverages. 25% of the world's retail volume sales is happening in India. 11,000 crore is the Indian market on this. Sports drinks, similarly, energy drinks, energy bars. And here, what are the side effects in the growing child? Caffeine, it can lead to a lot of mental changes and even CVS, and even the muscle fibers, rhabdomyolysis, hallucination, seizures, taurine, sedative effect, L-carnitine, high doses can cause diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pain, seizures. Guarana, again, insomnia, irritability, palpitation. Then ginseng, again, toxicity includes diarrhea, vaginal bleeding, headache, vertigo, hypertension. So these are not without side effects. So our children have to be told about all these things. How will you tell them? And see, what is the permitted caffeine content? It is less than 100 milligram per day. See the Red Bull 111, 12 fluid hours, and the Bang, all these things. See, the Starbucks tall iced coffee, 120 milligram, and the Kickstart, 92 milligram. See what all our children are consuming. Are they having any awareness about all these things? That we have to think. So the social behavioral change communication that has to come is that we have to teach them how to read the food labels. And in the food label, it is written. Sometimes they deceive you by putting some numbers. And there is a Natasha law in UK which says that they cannot put Ajinomoto. If it is Ajinomoto, they have to write it as Ajinomoto. They will write that the preservative is 0010, like 1, 2. So that is also not permitted. And many food labels are deceiving. They don't put everything correctly. And here we can see that more than 50% of the energy is coming from fat. We don't want that. We want only 50% of the energy to come from carbs and 20% to come from protein, and the rest 30 or 35% only to come from fat. So we should empower them to learn these things. And another thing is that if you tell them this is good for your skin, your eyes, your hair, they will listen to you. If you tell them that you are going to develop hypertension as an adult, they won't. We are only concerned about immediate gain or immediate fear. When there was fear of death, everybody was queuing up for the COVID vaccine. 2 a.m. they started coming in the queue because of fear of death. Now, if we call them, nobody will come. So we have to tell them about the micronutrients, the antioxidant, lycopene, omega-3, and those who don't eat fish and all, where, how will they get it? All these things we'll have to educate them about proper hydration. This I was stressing, no? When they take the colas and the drinks, they won't take water, and the sleep and the exercise. So to me, the solution lies in realization. We have to realize, and everybody wants to be zero size like Barbie doll. The first thing we have to understand, or the girl, we have to teach them is that virtually this is unattainable for an adult woman. 7 feet tall, 38-inch chest, 21-inch waist, 36-inch hip. So this is what they want, but it is not possible. And we have to be happy with what we are. Stop the negative talk about your body. Our differences make us beautiful. And you have to be you metabolic. That is what we think. Even in the PCC module, we were pre-conception module. Suddenly, we cannot tell them to reduce your weight and BMI and all, but say that you become you metabolic and you be happy and active and embrace your unique qualities and love for yourself. If you love yourself, everything for around you becomes very dear to you. If you don't love yourself, everything becomes so hostile to you, and that is it. So like the different toes are different, but they are all yours and you have to love. And but everyone can do it differently. So I think this is the way. See, 3 women are carrying the pot. One is on the head, one is on the shoulder, one is in the or exactly on the shoulder or with the hands, but everybody is doing the same thing. So everyone can do it differently. So that is my message. There is no tailor-made solution or one tailor-made solution for every case, but through the case of Ami, I have enlightened you how one girl could be saved, and you can do it differently. That is it. And create an awareness, and the social awareness and the social behavioral change communication is the answer for this. Thank you very much for this opportunity in the presence of this august audience, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam, for that excellent talk. As usual, you're a storehouse of wisdom and doyen of nutrition. You proved yourself once again. And madam, I mean, is always, has new ideas and new ways of expressing so that we can easily follow. I really appreciate that, madam, very much. And I welcome, I think Dr. Neelam is there. Deepa, would you like to welcome somebody? Yeah, before we go on to the questions.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. Neelam ma'am is here.
Yeah.
Honored to have you here, ma'am. A few comments from you.
So we are very honored
thank you so
to
much.
have you with us, Dr. Neelam.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely, when I saw your program, I just messaged I had to be there. But then I didn't want to disturb, and you hurt me, and Deepa hurt me, and the reasons you can share later on. That's why I was very particular not immediately joining and disturbing. But I think this is a subject which is, not many of you know. One of the early days when I started working in nutrition, and I hope Elizabeth ma'am remembers, there was a meeting in Hotel Ashoka in Delhi, and it's more than one and a half decades back. I mean, I was relatively much young in this thing, 15 years, and I had to meet this lady who was very popular. So I met her, and I think I was always fond of nutrition, and I realized that there's so much to do. So I think if I'm allowed to just sum up, I would just say that adolescent is really a very important window, a crucial window for establishing a lifelong eating habits. Now, though we say that the habits come in childhood, but if we are even, it's like they say when you are not able to achieve it, initially the growth, and then you have to use a catch-up growth. Similarly, I would say that adolescent is a crucial window for establishing the lifelong eating habits. And like caregivers or healthcare professionals, it is absolutely a role not only to provide the knowledge, but to inspire for the sustainable change which Elizabeth was focusing on, and how she depicted that each one of as it shapes it's the metabolic health and not really the looks that we look about. And similarly, I say for exercise, it's not just for physical looking fitness, but it is the mental health that it gives rise to. If you're able to give that knowledge, that will really help. And balanced nutrition is not about restriction, as she said. It's not about restriction, it's about making smart, informed choices. So once we are able to give that, explain, then they're able to make the smart, informed choices. Because if I just tell you, don't eat that, and you don't know, you're not yourself a role model. So it is empowering them with that knowledge and not restricting, but allowing them to make smart, informed choices. So we need to create that environment, and no other time in the century this could have been a better time than now, where we are just talking about how important it is, where the environmental pollution itself is giving rise to obesity besides the other habits. So we don't know how much is what, we are still not able to segregate. But overall, we need to just support this healthy eating and mindful food habits, if I'm asked to say, and address the social and the emotional aspects of nutrition. And it's brilliant to be with this AHA who's committed to empower the adolescents with the guidance so that they can get into healthy adults, both physically and mentally. Thank you for giving this opportunity to me to say a few words.
Thank you for joining and blessing the occasion.
Thank you, Neelam ma'am, for this enlightening words. Over to you, Indumati ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, madam, for giving us a bit of advice and also enlightening us. Madam, there are some questions in the chat box. Yeah. Okay, some of them are missing, or is there any? Is there other causes of amylophagia in particular?
I have not come across any other cause. The laundry starch and all is iron deficiency anemia. And middle class families, no children come to the store room and then take the rice and eat, raw rice and eat. That is very common.
So somebody had asked whether a pediatrician can handle the whole thing instead of going to a psychologist. I think I saw that question. I think something like a teamwork, whether the pediatrician themselves can be explain all this without even going to a psychologist or so.
In my experience and my view, I think it should be a teamwork. And we are busy, no? And maybe these sort of cases we have not seen, and how to counsel also, no? Sometimes when we counsel for breastfeeding, they cry and they go away, no? Sometimes, even I have felt that then they will say, we'll never go there because he'll immediately start asking for breastfeeding and all. So the way how they take it and how to put it also, I think it should be a teamwork that, and we had less exposure to counseling and all, no communication. Now in CBME, it is there again. It is like very superficially we are going. We are not teaching them, and especially we are not empowered to do it. So, and the dietitian also to take a proper history, no? And I write one dosha, 70 kilocalories, but that is the standard dosha, what you get in Saravana Bhavan. But the mother makes kuti, small dosha, no? Even 3 or 4 will not match that. And we put 70 calories for that. So the dietitian they will show them the cups and the batter, they will talk to them, they have time. And they are trained in that. So I think it should be a team.
Yes. I think in schools also, ma'am, I think the messages have to go to the parents also. I think that is happening, but how much is happening, we don't know. And
I think the ragging and the body shaming and all, no? So it's a big problem. Even in social media, somebody was telling, no, when social media came, Facebook and all came, people thought that all the vices will be pointed out and corrected immediately. But what happened? It is getting pointed out, but then vulgar comments are coming, then fights are going on, and it is going to other levels, and no good thing has happened through that. So
Yes,
teachers
if I
have to be
can come
very
in.
alert. Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
So, ma'am, I think you said very beautifully that, eating disorders need a multidisciplinary team, and more so because cognitive behavior therapy actually forms the cornerstone, and only a trained psychiatrist, and preferably a child and adolescent psychiatrist, actually leads the team. So that's important. And as you said, Indumati madam, body image, we're now talking about body image neutrality, not even positivity. We are saying just appreciate your body for what it does. And that is the message which we are trying to give to all adolescent boys and girls both. So that is also very, very kind of important to, and the third thing is a lot of body morphing going on the social media, which is giving them, so a lot of thing we spend on media literacy, trying them to analyze what media message. So the person has six packs may not be there. It may be because of morphing which has been done. So these are some of the, additional things which we need to take care when body image dissatisfaction comes into the picture. And having said that, Elizabeth madam covered so beautifully the nutritional disorders in adolescents. I mean, in such a short time, hats off to her.
Thank you.
As usual, yeah. So any more questions on this?
I think Dr. Geeta Patil has asked, what are other modalities other than this? So there are medications, antidepressants, SSRIs and all that we can't really give. I think we need the help of the psychiatrists, the psychologists, and then do it whenever as the psychological interventions are failing. Cognitive behavioral therapy, family-based therapy, interpersonal therapy, group therapy, all these things, and support groups, coping strategies, lifestyle changes. So many things should come together. But making them understand that this is only a perception. It is not any disease or you are not like this. This is only your perception. Taking them out of that. And as Dr. Preeti was telling, what do you think about your body? How do you appreciate yourself? That is also one question will give us a lot of insight. They have to be confident and about themselves, no? Then only everything will work.
Yes, ma'am. I think parents have a big role in this age, you know. I mean, nothing is
Parents,
easy.
teachers, peer, everybody has. And in our country, everybody is an advisor. No, nowadays, not only doctors, pediatricians, or dietitians are advising, influencers. So they call themselves influencers. And what they are influencing, we should listen to them. They will be marketing something with some hidden agenda. So the children become prey to that.
And we also have to be careful about pro-Anna and pro-Mia groups on the social website. So these are those groups which are there, and children often join them and which encourage unhealthy eating. So, you know, it's very important to keep and monitor that. Yes, yes. So we have to be careful. Pro-Anna is for anorexia and pro-Mia is for the bulimia groups.
Oh. Dr. Himabindu, you'd like to say something?
No, ma'am. Actually, I just wanted to appreciate that the routine, you know, we heard this topic earlier, but it was so differently presented. And with all the additional expert comments from Dr. Preeti and Neelam's message also, very nice. Deepa, congratulate for this extraordinary topics to be taken. Of course, Christina, madam, all of you.
Elizabeth ma'am's choice only, ma'am. The topic was Elizabeth ma'am's choice. Topic was Elizabeth ma'am's choice.
Yeah, I thought
yeah. I think it was good. So I think these are the topics to be discussed, and more our adolescents are really carried away with their body image.
And
And
Madam
so we
highlighted the point of anemia and all the deficiencies in the adolescent, which we are not tackling. Then how do we expect a healthy baby out of a adolescent who is going through? So that I think Madam has highlighted very well. So that's where it starts, you know, a long way before she really becomes pregnant. The girl
the
child.
life cycle approach and all that, yes. So very important, and we need to do more and more awareness. IAP is doing right thing in the community, and all of us have to take lead. So before I leave, I request really congratulations to all of you, and I would like to request all of you to kindly be present tomorrow. Especially, I'll call Dr. Preeti also as Vice President of AHA to come for the inauguration tomorrow of the Wave 18. The AHA Youth Forum is formed, and we are launching this. I request all of you to kindly join on behalf of IAP and AHA. Thank you. Please join the link. I'll be posting on the
Do you
groups.
have a website, ma'am, for that? AHA, no?
AHA website we have, madam. Yes, we have a website of Adolescent Health Academy. It's 25 years old. All our past chairpersons, Preeti is also here.
Okay, so
we
that
have
maybe we
done
can
excellent
share it.
job. And this year, little uniquely, because 25 years, Silver Jubilee year, we are AHA Youth Forum and Young Adolescent Ambassadors, Youth Wellness Days. Some things we are just trying to see how it will
I
work
think,
out.
yeah, kindly share the link, Deepa, that will be.
Yeah, I
just
will.
share
In
it
all
to
the groups by
others.
night, I will be sharing.
Yeah.
Please join. Just invite. And thank you. Can I leave to another thing with your
And
permission?
that I just hand over the thing to Dr. Ritu and Dr. Deepa to, yeah.
Ritu?
Ritu? Please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the very informative talk. Ma'am, I think if anyone wants to ask any questions further.
I think
Or
many
shall
people have
we?
requested the video, so you can share the recorded video. I think many people wanted.
Yes, ma'am, that we'll be sharing in group soon after the talk. Once it is ready, we'll be sharing, ma'am. Is there Sushma Desai, ma'am? Ma'am, we would like a few comments from you.
Dr. Vidhu, there is a question from Dr.
Yes, sir.
Nikita Raj.
Okay.
Nikita, okay.
Kindly tell on guidelines for level of exercise and duration obese adolescents. Something.
See that.
Ma'am, Elizabeth, ma'am?
Yeah, that is what I said. Obese adolescents, if you tell them you take 1 hour of exercise and all, it is impossible for them. With 1% weight gain, 10% motivation comes down. You will have to take them with them. Otherwise, they will say that I was cycling all the time. They will sit there and come back. And then this something motivational is that the band which will cover your number of steps and all, that is motivating. And in Singapore, I heard they are giving them vouchers when they finish this one. Even this vouchers are given to them free, whoever joins the club. And then they are given vouchers for future use and all. And so there is a staircase and an elevator. People will go to the elevator. But if you write, you are burning 0.5 calories, 1 calorie, 1.5 calorie, 2 calorie. If you write on the steps, that itself will become a motivation to walk. So we have to have that tactics. And slow and steady it should come. And in Taiwan, I think they started a group exercise. So some group of people joined together. They came with beating drums and all. They play music and they start doing exercise. Then people after work, when they come, maybe 5 o'clock, 5:30, they will be in the vicinity of every park or big institutions. And so people used to come and watch them. Then people started waiting for them because they want to finish their exercise and go. I think Thrissur Medical College has a good model. They have an exercise area where a trainer also will be there. Those who want to do yoga can do yoga, Zumba can do Zumba, and say 1 o'clock they will be there. So whoever is going out after duty can join. Others who are coming also. So to 12:30 to 1 to 1:30. So 1 or 2 hours, the trainer also will be there. So we have so many responsibilities like traveling, driving, going home, doing many things. But going home, we can't do any exercise. We don't have time. But if we can do it at the workplace, so the school, and nowadays parents come and say, give a certificate to my child that exempt him from PT period because he is asthmatic. That is what they come and say. But nobody is asking for exercise. The PT period all is converted into teaching lessons or some other thing. So we cannot say that they should do 5 hours a week. That can be put, but it can be done in small aliquots because that is all what is possible for them. That is my take on that.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, Dr. Sushma Desai, ma'am, a few words, please, ma'am.
She's the incoming president, no?
Ma'am is the AHA Central incoming president.
After Dr. Hemogandhi.
Ma'am, maybe network is not good. Ma'am is not
Dr.
there.
Newton sir is there. He is also pioneer.
Okay. Newton sir. Sir. Few words, please, sir. Newton sir. Okay. Then Dr. Shubha Badami ma'am is there.
From Bangalore.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Madhusri ma'am is there.
Sorry?
Madhusri ma'am is there.
Yes, yes. Madhusri ma'am. Dr. Madhusri ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
You are audible. I think we can go ahead with both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So our special thanks to IAP Kerala and also IAP Pathanamthitta for helping us to host this program today. Preeti ma'am, very happy that you are with us. Like with all the message you have passed on to us about medical legal and about nutrition also. And Himamiddu ma'am and all seniors who have been able to join us today. And special thanks to Indumati madam for being the chairperson for our program. And Elizabeth ma'am, there is no words for you. The talk was so informative and they are asking for the recordings already. We'll be passing on. And there are so much of comments on IAP Kerala, all the groups. It is very informative, ma'am. Exactly the way how the talk has turned out. As ma'am has said, we have also heard before eating disorders, but the important points were placed in such a way that slides were also, we could memorize it better. And actually we have taken pics of that also, because the differences and things we can, when we are explaining to patients, it becomes easier. And actually including I mean, about myself, I was unaware of many of the things what you said about the colors, about the plastic rice look and things. Thank you, ma'am, for all the information you have shared. It's always like when we hear ma'am's talk, all of us keep saying the information just gets into our brain. We might have heard, but we might have not concentrated on that area. So thanks a lot, ma'am, for that. And special thanks to Neela madam, of course, Neela madam, for joining us and giving us more information about the adolescent nutrition. And Geeta Patel ma'am for the special comments. And also the coming president, Dr. Nandakumar sir, and the secretary of IAP Kerala now, Gogi Mohan sir, Dr. Benukutan sir, and all of us, all for joining us, and especially to IAP Pathanamthitta, Dr. Rene, and also Dr. Bibin, who couldn't join us because of a family function. Thanks a lot for supporting us for this program. And of course, Dr. Deepa Janardhanan, who is our backbone, and Dr. Renjit, and also our MOC, Dr. Shweta. So a good informative night for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good night, ma'am. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to be together.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
yes,
Same
It's
here.
radiating so much of positive energy.
Correct, correct.
Bye, ma'am. Bye.
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 Good night, ma'am.